Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 6th of January, comes to you from Fuerteventura, where I'm still down here, just getting some winter sun. And a lot of red on the screens this morning. So interesting, markets are just not really seeing the New Year's cheer that we're used to. The dollar is continuing to look strong on all three timeframes. Remembering this is weekly, daily, and 60-minute charts, long-term, medium-term, and short-term view of the market. So dollar strength, that means euro weakness. We're sitting at 113. We have just been progressively trending lower, breaking below the cloud, looking to some pretty big downside targets if we make new lows on the euros. So that's certainly something to watch. Sterling sitting steady at 135. So holding the bullish trend there that we've seen recently against the dollar, recovering from the low 130s, but still in a trend down against that stronger dollar, holding the 120 euro mark. That's the key thing. Sterling is looking much stronger against the euro, making a new 2-year high really. So and now getting through that 121 level would put us into multi-year highs, back to sort of Brexit levels really. So really quite key there that we're seeing that euro weakness, sterling strength. Bitcoin has fallen away quite substantially this week. We're in the high 40s, we're now in the low 40s. We're still above the cloud on the long-term chart. We've got a target to 41,600, another one to 3,800. So certainly this 40,000 level will be interesting to see. Of course, the long-term target to 83,000 hangs there as long as we stay above this 30,000 mark. So really quite key there that big target that was generated is all about holding that low, the previous low. The S&P 500 index down nearly 2% yesterday, so diving lower there. Again, really the Santa rally just hasn't really materialized this year, so market's quite fearful. And we're looking also at the NASDAQ back below the cloud there on the short-term chart. The futures are lower this morning, only slightly on the S&P. The NASDAQ future lower. So we are seeing tech starting to just see a bit of a sell-off there. And if you look at the VIX volatility, we're back at that 20 level, back to short-term bullish. Of course, remembering that the higher the VIX goes, that's the higher the fear increases in the market. So not overly worried versus what we saw in early December when the Omicron variant was coming to light, but still markets are slightly fearful. The FTSE future down 0.2%, the DAX in Germany down a full 1%, really taking the US numbers last night in their stride. Japan was down 2%. So again, just struggling to hold and break above that cloud. The Hang Seng bucking the trend, but its trend, of course, has been bearish. So we're seeing the Hang Seng actually doing better than most markets, tend to be just counter-cyclical there. India down 0.9%, nearly 1% lower, and the Aussie market falling very heavily, down 2.74%. So having risen quite strongly in late December, giving up a lot of those gains, still holding on to the short-term cloud, but really a big move down there yesterday. We'll look at the futures markets in energy in a minute, but looking at wheat, we're down 1% here. Sentiment pretty bearish all round, actually. Gold down 1.7, down 8.84%, below that $1,800 mark again, just breaking below support. And silver also lower, down 2.7%. So we're seeing precious metals really falling away there. US 10-year yields trending higher, 1.73%. Interest rates and inflation concerns are really starting to dominate, and we're seeing a multi-month high there. So that's really significant, coming back to test. And of course, we've got levels now. We're really reaching this 175 target, so looking higher there as well. Let's take a look at the energy mix quickly. We've got Brent crude breaking higher this morning. We went out to clients as bullish now that we've broken this range. WTI similarly looking bullish. US nat gas just falling away 1% at the moment. So we've got targets in both directions, but quite big upside targets there. We need to hold this $3.80 level really. Coal sitting at 116, so it's fine as long as we're above $100. Be interesting to see if we can get back into these 130s level. That's the level, and here the lower low on coal is a bit of a concern. Emissions, we put out a new report to clients this morning on emissions. We've got some pretty clear targets. We've got a new little downside one just developing this morning, but the picture is looking pretty bullish there. And of course we put out the new targets to clients. Gas prices up 6%, so we're seeing that recovery continuing, just breaking out of that little mini range that we've seen over the last couple of days. Upside targets there as well, and the same with MPP. German power we're seeing is slightly down this morning. Cal 24 is actually slightly up, so we're seeing a little bit of an improvement there, and the same with Nordic power. We're seeing recoveries there. The key thing is gas markets. That's the thing to watch, and for the moment we look like we're wandering back above the cloud, back into a recovery. Can we make an even higher high? That will be the key. We did hold that support level. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.